Joining today from the Department of Trade Consumer Protection. We call him DATCP. We call her Michelle. Michelle, welcome back to the show. How are you doing today?
I'm good, Jeremy. How are you doing?
Just making it up as I go. Really well, really well. Today we're going to be talking about moving company fraud and consumer tips. You're getting ready to move out to college, move out, move in, move all around. Maybe you're just moving because you want to move. Doesn't matter. There's some helpful tips here as you make that move, so to speak. So what does DATCP want you to know this or coming to the moving season?
Well, you're right. It is the moving season. Spring and summer in Wisconsin are a great time to move, whether you're getting a new apartment because a lease is ending, or you just want to find a new location, or you're becoming a new homeowner or a new homeowner, in that you're finding that second house type situation. But we want to go over some of the scams we see, or some of the nightmare experiences that consumers have had, so you can avoid these really as a consumer. And some things we've seen is that scammers pose as moving companies, and they have these multiple ways to take advantage of the victims. They can require a deposit and then never show up for the move. They can load your belongings into their truck and disappear, stealing everything. People are usually surprised by that one, that a scammer will really show up, but that's more of just a typical fraudster there. And then offer a low estimate before moving, and then all of a sudden they will significantly raise the price and refuse to unload your items until you pay. So really holding things hostage, if you will, or for ransom, in order for you to get your belongings back. So we have some red flags we can talk about if you want to kind of identify these things.
Are you seeing a lot of reports then that come in from, I guess, do you see a lot more come in from the college level side of things, like the college move, or is it coming more from homeowners making the transition? Whether or not it comes from either one, but where do we see it kind of come in from as far as the moving companies go in Wisconsin?
We see it as a pretty even balance if people are going to experience this, because it's really about the homework that you're going to do ahead of time and the way that you're going to react. So we see it when people are put into a situation or a position where they don't have a lot of options because they didn't do the homework up front, and then they're just being reactive. So it's probably more about the consumer personality than it is any kind of age group that we're seeing here.
Yeah, I think it's good to know either way, you know, that it's not one side or the other. It's an all-around scam, if you will, of moving company stuff. So red flags, there are things that stand out on this list that I see that kind of go along with some scam stuff. But these are some good tips here to watch out for as you're trying to choose the right company. And you could use this for any company, really, that you're choosing. But moving, I think you want a few other things in writing when it comes to moving your stuff.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And great point on, these are some tips that are universal to all things that we ask consumers to do. But the first one really is that a company's website lacks an address, registration, and insurance information, all really important for moving. If you can't validate information, or there isn't very much information on a company's website, that's going to be a flag. When movers show up in a rented truck, it's not a company truck that's owned by them, or it doesn't have any of their signage and markings on it. You know, maybe they've just gotten a new fleet, so it's not fancy, but if they don't even have a magnetic placard on it indicating who they are, or maybe it's just marked as a fleet truck, that's going to be a red flag that you're going to want to ask about and really understand what's going on. Things do break down, and you might need to fulfill a contract with something else, but really understand and push for answers on that. The company wants to be paid in advance and requires a really large deposit. Well, why so large? I get holding a company, but when you're asked to pay a large portion of the move cost up front, that again is something to understand and be cautious of. And if they're willing to provide a quote verbally, but they won't put it in writing, that is a huge red flag. That's a situation, again, where you want to be cautious, because that could be a situation where they're going to kind of refuse to deliver your belongings unless you pay more because you don't have anything in writing there. And then if you're asked to sign blank documents, what's that all about? That's something universally we don't want anyone to ever do. You want the details in writing and to really understand. Now, know when you get a written estimate, and if it's over the phone, there could be an opportunity or a clause that indicates, you know, this is what you told me, but now they come to your house and see that you're a hoarder. You're not a traditional, I have, you know, 5 pieces of furniture in my living room, but you have 20 pieces of furniture. That could really change your estimate. And there's probably going to be a clause to that effect in where they would renegotiate your contract or re-estimate things for you.
Yeah, you talk a lot about, too, in the information here about finding a reputable company, a known company. I think a lot of businesses, the city, we sometimes get 3 bids when we're trying to pick out state. You got to do a similar thing. Why is it important to compare companies and actually get some quotes, get some more information? And how can that be beneficial to you, not only in protecting yourselves, but maybe, you know, just some reassurance on moving companies or any company, again, when you're choosing services?
Yeah, you're going to have options for a spectrum of payments. You know, who's going to be able to do the job on the day that you want? Who is going to pack your belongings or maybe just load your belongings? Depends who's packing and how much that's going to cost. How are they going to wrap and protect them? When will they deliver those belongings? So when you're getting those different quotes, it's really important to be sure you understand if those quotes are for the same service or if you're getting more or less service for that quoted amount. And are you just having to move 5 really big things you can't lift anymore as you know, I get older type situation, or are you having to move the entire apartment or home? But again, knowing, having it in writing, and then seeing what the costs are, how many people will be doing the move, so how long it's going to take in a day, and again, when you'll get those belongings. Do they get delivered same day or will they be stored overnight? What's the security behind that? A lot of questions to ask. And so, of course, there's a resource that people can go to. It's not a DATCP resource. It's a U.S. Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration resource. You can go to ProtectYourMove.gov, and they have a brochure for you, and they also have a booklet of information, questions to ask, things to evaluate when selecting a moving company.
Yeah, I think finding a reputable company, doing some extra research and using the resources out there will help make that decision just a little bit safer, and you don't become a statistic in a bad move situation. And it's your stuff. I mean, right? You want to protect that.
Right. And on that note, maybe take your most valuables with you and don't leave them to the movers, or certainly store them with a friend or family member in the meantime while you're in that move situation, because it's your stuff.
I know somebody that just moved and followed that exact thing. They took the most valuable stuff and took that themselves straight to their destination. So good information. Michelle, thank you so much for your time and information here. If people want to stay up to date on any scams going on, or the great resources that you do have through DATCP's website, where can they find you?
The website is DATCP.wi.gov, or you can call the hotline, 1-800-422-7128.
Michelle, always a pleasure. Thank you so much again.
Thank you.